close encounter with an unidentified flying object, commonly known as UFO, turned the life of an electric lineman in Indiana upside down. The protagonist then began his quest for answers in the 1977 classic science fiction Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Another classic, this one from 1982, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. In the iconic Steven Spielberg film, a child befriends an alien and helps him escape from Earth and return to his home planet. More recently, in the 2016 alien visitation drama Arrival, a professor is recruited by the military to assist in translating alien communications. And here we are in 2023.
As we convene here, UAP are in our airspace, but they are grossly underreported. These sightings are not rare or isolated, they are routine. Military aircrew and commercial pilots, trained observers whose lives depend on accurate identification, are frequently witnessing these phenomena.
A real-life drama is currently being played out in Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States. Its central character, retired Major David Grusch, a former U.S. intelligence officer. He's now a whistleblower with a clear purpose.
I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program, to which I was denied access to those additional read-ons when I requested it. I made the decision, based on the data I collected, to report this information to my superiors and multiple inspectors general, and in effect becoming a whistleblower.
He wants to prove the United States is in possession of alien craft and non-human biologics. If what Grusch is saying is true, aliens are definitely not the only things coming to our planet from far, far away. Speaking on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Spielberg, who has directed many sci-fi classics, revealed that he, too, believes that aliens exist, and that the US government is trying to cover up their existence. Spielberg said, and we quote, "I think it's mathematically impossible that we are the only intelligent species in the cosmos. That's totally impossible. It is exciting." Let's enter the world of UFOs and extraterrestrials. Is the United States hiding information about aliens? And should we start taking unidentified anomalous phenomena seriously?
As you know, I've suffered retaliation for my decision, but I am hopeful that my actions will ultimately lead to a positive outcome of increased transparency.
In the month of June this year, David Grusch, an American intelligence officer's keen interest in UFOs, made headlines across the globe. He gave the US Congress and other authorities classified information about secret programs that, according to him, are in possession of the alien craft. Grusch believes the US government, along with its allies, have been making recoveries of partial and fully intact vehicles for many decades.
He has said all these rumors are true. The US government does have crashed UFOs, and in some cases, apparently bodies of the pilots. And in the second instance, he says, that there is a program to try and figure all this out, run by elements in the US government, and that program is improperly or illegally being withheld from Congress. What I know will happen is that Congress will continue to work on this question to try to validate David Grusch's claims.
On the 26th of July, David Grusch testified to a subcommittee on the U.S. Congress under oath, claiming that the government is attempting to cover up evidence of non-human UFOs, and that it may have alien bodies in its possession. Grusch claims that the country's government conducted a multi-decade program where it collected and attempted to reverse engineer UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomena, a term officially used by government for UFOs. David Grusch was a combat officer in Afghanistan and a veteran of the U.S. National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and the U.S. National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO. At NRO, he was employed as a representative of the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Task Force at the Department of Defense. He was tasked with identifying UFOs, and thus he claimed that he had spotted unidentified objects off the eastern seaboard in the mid-2010s. The U.S. Department of Defense, the Pentagon, has denied all of Grusch's claims of a cover-up. In a statement, Defense Department spokeswoman Sue Gao said investigators have not discovered any verifiable information to substantiate claims that any programs regarding the possession or reverse engineering of extraterrestrial materials have existed in the past or exist currently. With the Pentagon denying the allegations, Grusch does not seem to have much to back up his claims. But he's not alone. Two former U.S. Navy fighter pilots have also said they have seen unidentified anomalous phenomena.
Parts of our government are aware of more about UAP than they let on, but excessive classification practices keep crucial information hidden. Since 2021, all UAP videos are classified as secret or above. This level of secrecy not only impedes our understanding, but fuels speculation and mistrust.
As we looked around, we noticed that we saw some whitewater off our right side. It's important to note that the weather on this day was as close to perfect as you could ask for off the coast of San Diego. Clear skies, light winds, calm seas, no whitecaps from waves. So the whitewater stood out in a large blue ocean. All four of us, because we were in F-18Fs, so we had pilots and Wizzo in the back seat, looked down a saw a white tic-tac object with a longitudinal axis pointing north-south and moving very abruptly over the water like a ping-pong ball. As we pulled nose onto the object, within about a half mile of it, it rapidly accelerated in front of us and disappeared. Our wingmen, roughly 8,000 feet above us, lost contact also. We immediately turned back to see where the whitewater was at, and it was gone also.
Warning that these unidentified objects are a national security threat, the two pilots called on the U.S. government to be more transparent about UAPs.
Last week, White House NSC spokesman John Kirby stated that UAPs are having an impact on our training ranges and need to be treated as a legitimate issue. Do you concur with his statements? That's for each of you.
Yes.
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 The US government has some UFO-related information which is classified and therefore which by definition is being hidden from certainly the media and the public. Generally speaking, with the most highly classified subjects, only maybe two people on the Armed Services Committee or on the Intelligence Committee, perhaps the chairman and the senior member from the other party, maybe only a handful of people would have sufficient clearance, security clearance to be told some of this. So yes, we know there is some information that's classified and being hidden.
As expected, a considerable crowd of UFO enthusiasts arrived on Capitol Hill for the hearing.
I mean, there's two big questions in this world. What happens when we die and are we alone? And the Pentagon's talking about one of them right now, so it's interesting as hell.
Are we alone in the universe? That's the question everybody wants answered.
Have you faced any retaliation or reprisals?
The testimony in front of Congress has opened up more questions than the answers it provided.
Be careful what I say in detail because there is.
It could also act as an impetus for more investigations. But how did the modern-day sightings of UFOs first come about? And what exactly are UFOs? In 1952, the U.S. Air Force coined the term UFO, just 5 years after pilot Kenneth Arnold added flying saucer to the world's lexicon. During the summer of 1947, Arnold flew past Mount Rainier in Washington state and found a flying disc on his property northwest of Roswell Army Field. The next day, a public information officer at the Army base released a news statement revealing that the U.S. Army recovered a flying disc from a man's ranch. Although Arnold denied initially describing them as saucers, the name by then had already made its mark in popular culture. According to the Air Force Declassification Office, UFOs were initially defined as those objects that remain unidentified after scrutiny by expert investigators. Though today the term UFO is colloquially used to refer to any unidentifiable sighting regardless of whether it has been investigated. U.S. government entities have always been tight-lipped about UFOs. The secrecy seems to have fueled conspiracy theories that aliens and their spacecraft are hidden by the government in Area 51. But what is Area 51? Area 51 is synonymous with tales of UFOs, government cover-ups. Area 51 is the popular name for a United States Air Force base. It is located at Groom Lake, a dry lakebed in the Nevada desert, 135 kilometers north of Las Vegas. What goes on inside this area is extremely secretive and guarded. Members of the public are kept away by warning signs, electronic surveillance, and armed guards. Although the site is now visible on satellite images, it is illegal to fly over Area 51. Conspiracy theories surrounding the base suggest that it is used for the testing of alien technology recovered from supposed crash sites. Like the famous one we have just seen in Roswell, New Mexico, Area 51 references have seeped into pop culture, with imagination running wild. One of the most widely viewed interpretations of Area 51 appeared in the 1996 Will Smith blockbuster Independence Day, where the base plays a crucial role in defeating an invading alien menace. Remember the stirring speech scene when the President of the United States, played by Bill Pullman, delivers a rousing message to fight alien attacks? And then there was this incident. Storm Area 51, they can't stop all of us. The Facebook event went viral in September 2019. 1.5 million people signed up for it, to see for themselves if the government was hiding aliens. But only about 150 people showed up at the two entrances to Area 51. No one succeeded in entering the site. The military responded with stern warnings that lethal force could be used if people entered the Nevada Test and Training Range. Despite the restrictions, or perhaps because of them, Area 51 has spawned more conspiracy theories than any other military facility in the world.
When I was investigating UFOs for the British government, we did not liaise with the United States on that, so I was privy to no official information So on that aspect of it, I've really only heard the same stories that the media and the public have heard. If the United States does have crashed UFOs, or even intact ones, as some whistleblowers now coming forward claim, then Area 51 is exactly the kind of area where you would take it, because you would need somewhere remote where the public can't get access.
So, why was it built in the first place? Area 51 was created during the Cold War between the US and the Soviet Union as a testing and development facility for aircraft, including the U-2 and SR-71 Blackbird reconnaissance planes. Although it opened in 1955, the US military only acknowledged its existence in 2013, after a formally classified Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA, document detailing the history of the U-2 spy plane was obtained by the National Security Archive. 4 months after the CIA's disclosure, President Obama became the first US president to mention Area 51 publicly. It's been dubbed America's most infamous UFO incident. The 1947 Roswell incident became the center of a conspiracy theory involving UFOs and extraterrestrials. Between 1947 and 1969, at the height of the Cold War, more than 12,000 UFO sightings were reported to a top-secret US Air Force team. It was called Project Blue Book. Its mission? To scientifically investigate the incidents and determine whether they pose a national security threat. So, what were some of the most famous sightings? In 1950, an issue of Dublin's Teenage Times claimed that these mysterious objects were flying saucers. In the same year, another picture of a flying saucer was photographed by farmer Paul Trent over his farm in Millville, New Jersey. In 1963, the Amalgamated Flying Saucer Club of America, with headquarters in Los Angeles, released this photo taken by a member, reportedly showing a flying saucer. From the year 1989 to 1990, around 13,500 people claimed that they witnessed large, silent, low-flying black triangles. This Belgian photograph became a worldwide hit, but more than 20 years later, one of the creators of the photograph revealed that it was fake. A piece of polystyrene was used to create the effect. In 2010, New Yorkers froze and kept gazing skyward at the mysterious objects that hovered above the iconic Manhattan skyline for several hours. The New York Police Department said it received dozens of calls about the unidentified flying objects.
They were just kind of like...
More recently, in 2021, a mystery triangular UFO was spotted over a California base. Videos of the incident have now been debunked as flares. In June 2021, a U.S. intelligence report on the mysterious unidentified flying object sightings said that most incidents could not be explained. It did not rule out the possibility that some of them could be alien spacecraft. The unclassified report said researchers could explain only one of the 144 UFO sightings by U.S. government personnel and sources between 2004 and 2021. This also brings us to the question, why do a staggering number of all reported UFO sightings only take place in the US? Clearly, UFO sightings have become an American obsession, an intrinsic part of urban legends of the 21st century, and now claims from whistleblower David Grusch have reignited the interest in these so-called non-human entities. The mysteries surrounding UFOs continue.